Deja vu. The U.S. men's national team lost to Trinidad and Tobago away 2-1 with Alvin Jones. Yes, the same dude that scored against the U.S. men's national team back in 2017 when we failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. So same result, same dude scoring. Almost the same thing happened. The only difference this time is no Omar Gonzalez own goal because he wasn't playing. And unlike back in 2017, at least this time the job got done and we qualified to the major tournament that we were fighting for a spot, which is the Copa America. But we play like crap. Hi, I'm Johan Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to our 7 Things We Learned series, where every single day following a U.S. men's national team match, we tell you 7 things that we learned. You can let me know what you learned in the comment section down below, and you can drop a like in this video. I have no joke for that right now because I'm not really happy. The game was very disappointing. You can probably notice that based on my voice. Actually, both games were fairly disappointing. Even the one we played at home that we scored 3 goals towards the end. The overall quarterfinal series, or this 2-leg knockout round, was very disappointing from the U.S. men's national team and very worrisome for what's to come. We're not seeing that much progress. But I'll stop with the takes here and let's go to lesson number 1. You can drop a comment and blah, blah, blah. Let's play the intro and start the episode. Okay, so let's start with lesson number 1. And for that, I'm going to have to quickly talk about last cycle as well. So last cycle, Greg Berhalter said when it started that he wanted to change the way the world sees American soccer. For this cycle, he wants to change the way Americans see US soccer. Is any of that going to happen if we play the way we played in the quarterfinals against a very weak opponent named Trinidad and Tobago? Because you see, educated fans will just find these performances awful and embarrassing, while casual fans that don't follow the game as much, they'll just find it extremely boring. Maybe what Berhalter will do is he changed the way the world sees US soccer to how Americans see US soccer. Next, he'll pick a random state. He'll probably choose the way Florida sees US soccer. And that won't work. So he will change maybe to Orange County in Central Florida. And that won't work. Then he'll just change maybe to Orlando. And if that doesn't work, he'll just pick like maybe one American citizen. Like if he can change how one American citizen sees US soccer, that'll be good enough. But to be honest, he kind of changed already the way I see US soccer. Because the players in the past used to do more with a lot less. Now it seems like we have more talent, but we do less with it. Lesson number 2 is, I don't know if it's a lesson or more of me just questioning. I want to question the so-called leadership council that they were talking about, that Berhalter built for this team and was so hyped by the media. I just want to question it right now, because does this team actually have strong leadership? Sure, we saw Matt Turner and Tim Ream call out Serginho Dest while he was leaving the pitch. And after that, we collapsed. And honestly, this is on the players and the coaching staff. No, like seriously, we were playing a weaker opponent and the team felt completely lost after the red card. I understand that a red card does affect your performance, you're playing man down, but we should still be able to beat Trinidad and Tobago while playing man down. Was there also no plan for that situation? Like, red cards are pretty common in soccer. Was there no plan if we were playing man down? Why did we feel like we were so lost? Berhalter had no plan. The leadership group couldn't get the players fired up, couldn't get them to wake up. Are we not concerned about future games based on these performances against Trinidad and Tobago and the fact that we have no in-game management? Like seriously, both games were bad, but I'm extremely concerned of how we reacted to getting a red card against a bad Trinidad side. Trinidad scored 2 goals, but they could have scored 3, they could have scored 4. And this is not a good team. What would have happened if we were playing Brazil, England, France in a World Cup, or not even that, just Uruguay or Colombia? How many goals would they have scored? Now, lesson number 3. And before I get to lesson number 3, I know I briefly mentioned the in-game management as an issue. Don't worry, that will be one of the lessons. I'll get to that in a second. But lesson number 3 is about Serginho Dest. And probably by the time you're watching this, the players and the coaches have already done this. Maybe even some executives from US Soccer. They need to talk to Serginho Dest, the players, the coaches, and talk some sense into it. What he did was extremely immature. It was a pivotal moment in the game. Pretty much could have, well, I would say it did cost us the game. The main reason we lost was Serginho Dest. We can try to blame Turner for his mistake. We can blame Berhalter for multiple things too. But the main reason was Dest. And if he didn't get a red card, we probably would have won this game. I think we would. I mean, I can't tell you the future, and it's kind of hard to know, but we probably would have won it. They have to talk to him because this is the second time this happens this year. He had an immature behavior against Mexico, and he missed the Nations League finals or final against Canada for the same reason. Twice in 1 year. Should we ban him from the national team? No. He apologized in social media, and it was poorly written, so it's probably not his agent. He regrets it. That's what it looks like. Talk to him. Talk some sense into him. I don't really know if we need to punish him, maybe bench him. He's already suspended for the semifinals anyway, so we'll see. But I think we don't need to overreact and bench the guy or even ban him. Should be back. But again, if this mistake happens once more, which would be the third time in a year and a half or 2 years, then yeah, some action will have to be taken. But hopefully Dest has learned from this, which it looks like he has, and it doesn't happen again, because it was, I mean, no offense to him, but it was pretty freaking stupid what he did. And the players saw it. The players talked about it. And they called him out. And I want to praise the players for that, because calling him out in public is important right there. Even though now it seems like it should be fine. I hope. Now let's go to lesson number 4, which is about the in-game management. And Berhalter has improved his starting 11 this cycle compared to the previous one. It's been fine. The roster selections are fine. He's trying even different formations, which we'll talk about that in a different lesson. So all of that are positives. But again, we talk about the personality of the team. I talked about that in the last 7 things we learned. I'm not going to repeat that. But the in-game management continues to be slow, predictable, boring, and honestly just not effective, not very good. Keep in mind, I will continue to say Serginho Dest is the main reason we lost, but he's not the only reason we lost. Did Turner not mess up badly in the second goal? Yes, he did. I guess even in the first goal, but he slipped, so we'll give him a pass on that one. But I want to talk about Greg Berhalter's in-game management. For example, keeping Brenden Aronson on the field for the full 90 minutes, a player that was just dropping on the floor left and right, which I'm going to get to Brenden soon because I'm a bit tired of him at this point, but he was just terrible and he continued to play. The substitutions as well. I know Gio Reyna was a planned sub. He was going to leave at halftime, so it sort of looked like it made sense to replace Gio or sacrifice Gio when Dest got a red card to get Scally in. But probably what should have been done, because Gio Reyna was the most important player in that midfield, was to keep Gio till the end of the first half so we could continue to control the midfield, probably not concede a goal at halftime, and just remove Pepe or Balogun, both weren't playing well, for Joe Scally. Then at halftime, you replace Gio Reyna for Malik Tillman, which is probably the most like-for-like player that you could have done there, and the team wouldn't lose its stability and defensive solidity in the midfield and, controlling possession, because that's what Gio was doing, dictating the tempo of the midfield. It was a mistake. And when we were under pressure against Trinidad and Tobago, Berhalter was too slow to make changes, and they were mostly ineffective. Now again, it's not all on him, because the players weren't good as well. There were individual mistakes from Turner, as we talked about, Serginho Dest, Cameron Carter-Vickers, even Tillman that came in didn't play well. Aronson wasn't doing well. Luca De La Torre had a poor performance. But again, Berhalter's in-game management continues to be mediocre at best. Lesson number 5, and I'll be very brief with this one, is I'm a bit tired of Brenden Aronson just falling around and playing poorly constantly. It's been like this for the past 12 months for club and country. By club, I mean Leeds, Union Berlin, and obviously the US men's national team. Am I saying he will never be a US men's national team player again? No. I'm just saying maybe he needs to stay off the roster for a bit. Figure it out, try to figure out his club situation, get minutes there, because he's been in and out of the lineup for Union Berlin. That's been terrible this season, by the way. He might get relegated back-to-back seasons. He was relegated with Leeds, and it looks like Union Berlin might get relegated as well. So I'm not saying we don't need Brenden Aronson ever again, but he's been extremely poor for quite some time, and yet it seems like he's still somewhat seen as a Pulisic replacement. I remember in the World Cup when some people wanted to bench Christian Pulisic for Brenden Aronson, and even prior to the World Cup, which was complete nonsense, but they still wanted it. Regardless, I talked about too much in this lesson. It was literally just say I'm tired of Aronson, and I don't think he should play for the national team for a bit until he regains form, because he's been very bad for club and country. Lesson number 6 is this team needs someone that can fire them up, you know, as soon as possible. Like right now. Whether it is a coaching staff member, a player, I don't care. This team seems to lack that fire in them in multiple occasions. I don't know, man. Just hire Tony Robbins or someone. I don't know what you can do. In the past, we used to have players like Clint Dempsey, like Jermaine Jones. It seems like we're missing someone like that, a personality like that. Obviously, the hiring Tony Robbins was a joke, by the way. But essentially, that's what I'm trying to say. We need someone that can fire this team up, a true leader. And don't say it's Tyler Adams. I don't think it is Tyler Adams. I think he's a good captain, very disciplined, a good leader in that sense, but he's still not that guy. We need a guy that's almost like a lunatic. And I'm not calling Jermaine Jones or Clint Dempsey lunatics, but you get what I'm saying? And we need it as soon as possible, man. Like now. Now, lesson number 7, and since most of the video was negative, I mean, we literally just lost to Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know how I could be overly positive. I do want to end with one positive. And it's not that we qualified to the Copa America. I think that was the bare minimum, and we did it. But Greg Berhalter tried a different formation. He played with 2 up top. Will that be used again in the future? Did it work or did it not work? I thought it was doing fine until Serginho Dest got a red card. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that he was at least trying a different formation until things went wrong. And again, we didn't have our 2 starting wingers, right? We didn't have Pulisic and we didn't have Weah. So trying 2 up top in a formation with no true wingers was the way to go. And I appreciate the fact that he tried it. Unfortunately, the red card kind of like changed things up and he wasn't able to manage that throughout the game. But let's end it with that positive. And you can drop a like in the video just to be positive, even though it's kind of hard to be positive when you lose to Trinidad and Tobago away and you play poorly against them at home. I'm trying, guys. I'm really trying. Right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. This is it for this camp. This was the last U.S. men's national team camp of the year. We'll do a camp recap later this week. We have great content coming up with some very good guests that we will be interviewing very soon, including some players. I believe we're going to have Matt Miazga on the channel very soon. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go and share this video with your dog, your mom, your cat, or that uncle you don't like. Unless that uncle is Greg Berhalter. Definitely don't send him this. Or send him this. Maybe it will be good. Thanks for watching and have a great day.